Hey, welcome back. We're playing this game.
Yeah, but I'm dying now.
Well, you gotta glide. Get
Stop
off the gargoyle.
dying. Isn't that what this
doesn't
game
get
is all
shot.
about?
Hi.
I didn't do it right.
Oh, isn't that cute?
Oh, this is what happens when you
Little
die.
cat's asleeping. Someone finish him off.
You think the Joker would be like a lot more excited about Batman being
No,
dead?
he's just disappointed.
Someone finish him off.
I think that's pretty accurate. If one of his like worthless thugs actually managed to kill Batman, I feel like he would
Kill that thug.
be more mad at the thug. Yeah.
Really? It's for his own good.
That wasn't very sneaky.
There we go.
Oh yeah, it was.
Okay.
You did it. Now you gotta go hide on a gargoyle. Is this the first did we do a Predator level already?
I saw this,
Love you boys. What's
didn't I?
Okay.
Where it's like he has to go from gargoyle to gargoyle, and like he looks at everybody and their skeletons.
That was the Zaz part.
Oh.
The Zaz, yeah,
now
yeah.
Now we're here, so we can...
Yeah, you should put the detective mode on. So, yeah,
There you
see,
go.
there
Skeletons. There they are. Just walking around.
You go. Walking around like regular people.
This is cool in purple.
That's because you're still tracking the alcohol. I think you can jump onto that glass and take him down from on top of the glass.
How do I do that?
I don't know, you're the one playing.
Whee!
Not like
Yeah,
that.
that didn't work.
He's not in there anymore.
Batman just damaging property.
You know what? I have a good feeling about this. You guys really have what it takes.
No, you gotta get out of there. You gotta get out of there. He's coming. You gotta get out of there. Okay, just jump down and sneak away. Or wait. Wait. Just wait right there. Now take him down.
Oh, this is fun.
Take him down. There you go. That's all of them.
Did
You
you
did it.
really think it was going to be that easy?
You
Okay.
You Batmaned.
You
My
Batman.
boys, you're
Batmaning successful. So would you consider Batman to be a humanist?
We're just jumping right in.
Well, I was just thinking of that when he was punching that guy and throwing him off of the bridge. That I read something just not too long ago. Someone was making this argument about like why they hate Frank Miller's Batman, which like we've talked about before, that's very hot right now.
Yeah.
So you don't like Frank Miller's Batman, which there's reasons, but one of the reasons was like Frank Miller doesn't understand that fundamentally Batman's a humanist. I'm like, is that a word you would use for Batman?
I just
Like-
because when you said it, do you think Batman's a humanist? And I was like, I mean, it's like asking me if I think Batman likes pudding. Like it's so irrelevant. To
Well, I
the
feel like
character, I think.
if Batman's primary driving force was like humanism,
Yeah.
he wouldn't be a vigilante. He would use his wealth to like create
yeah.
programs and which
see,
he does.
Now, see, if I was gonna write a Batman story, I would focus a lot on Bruce Wayne kind of taking on the fellow billionaires and really funding like social programs in a way that they don't really do in the comics very much.
Yeah.
Like not like beyond just charitable and giving
like orphanages.
and philanthropy. Like beyond that, and
Yeah.
actually do something that's a little bit more like because he doesn't care about his legacy, at least his Bruce Wayne legacy or investments as much as he does making Gotham better. You know, kind of that thing that like they kind of talked about it in Batman Begins with his father building the public transportation,
Yeah.
and
Got shot.
I really like that idea of having Bruce Wayne as like this kind of outside of Batman being a kind of a social justice warrior or an economic justice warrior.
Right. Yeah, because the Batman end of it, I think, is supposed to be like, if he's trying to fix this, Bruce Wayne is like, I need to fix this city. There's only so much I can do with my money, and so he's like funding these programs and things.
Yeah.
But if he recognizes that there's also like this criminal underground that rules the entire city, and there's corruption within the police department, then it kind of makes sense for him as like a reformer to say, well, I'm also going to dress up like a bat and beat people up.
But as far as like if it's a driving, if it's a crucial element to Batman as a character, I wouldn't go that far. But I also wouldn't think that there's anything that's a crucial element.
Yeah, well, that's
of Batman as a character. I think you could leave out different parts and still have an interesting Batman story.
That was kind of my fundamental thing, is that when I was reading this thing and they were like, Frank Miller doesn't understand Batman, and I was like, well, why do you just get to arbitrarily decide which parts of Batman's personality are the actual, like, the essential parts of it, and leave off everything else? Well, it's kind of, I guess it reminds me of that article that you sent me, where the guy's like, the Batman that used a gun wasn't really Batman.
Yeah.
I didn't buy that whole argument.
Harley. Everyone does.
I'm surprised you want to intern here.
Well, here's some stuff about Harley.
I've always had a thing for extreme personalities. You can't deny there's an element of glamour to these super criminals.
I'll warn you right now. These are hardcore psychotics. Most would rather kill you than speak to you.
I'm sure I'll be fine, Doctor.
They'll eat you for breakfast. I mean it. One or two of them will enjoy it too. Be careful.
Oh, so that's okay.
So this is the Harley Quinn worked at Arkham backstory, which, we have more time to explore that later.
Yeah.
Back to Batman being a humanist.
Right.
No, I forgot where I was going with that. What were you gonna
Well,
say?
I just mentioned, so you sent me this article that...
Oh, right, the gun thing. The thing that I thought was interesting about that was I never realized that it was only, like, the first couple issues or, like, the first year or so of Batman that he used a gun, and then it kind of dropped. Basically that it dropped pre-code. I never realized that.
But just because it dropped pre-code, I don't think that means it dropped without pressure from the publisher and stuff.
Well, but I also think that's a better argument for
must have figured out how
saying that it's like a legitimate interpretation of Batman that he can use a gun. Because it wasn't. You could say that it wasn't external pressure, that it wasn't political. So it could just be an element of his character that he goes back to.
Yeah. Well, especially because there are a lot of things. I feel like whenever somebody wants to do an interpretation of Batman, whether it's like the video game or a movie or whatever, they would say, like, we wanted to go back to the roots,
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of times Batman's depicted without Robin.
Sure.
Because the initial incarnation of Batman didn't have Robin.
Yeah.
But for somebody to say, well, the real Batman didn't start until, he had his own book and he wasn't using a gun anymore, we also had Robin. And so that means that if you want to argue, well, the real Batman would always have a Robin, and I don't think that's true, because I think...
Now, as far as this game goes, I don't think this game is looking to go back to the roots of Batman. I do think that it is trying to explore what Arkham Asylum means for Batman as a character, like how he's connected to it, how it's relevant to his mythos. But no, I think it's from this game, which is a little bit more, or considerably more elemental than the later games. I think it is kind of pushing Batman into this new, pushing him forward with the games.
A puzzle has many sides, but only some are
What's
visible.
this?
So
Riddler's check.
these
you're
are all the
solving Riddler's
there's
little puzzles?
Riddler puzzles all over.
Batman, over here.
He's one, so not to, Christopher Nolan movies are done. I'm
Right.
perfectly fine with that. But I actually do think that a Christopher Nolan Riddler movie would have been really interesting.
Do you not buy that Mr. Reese was his version of the Riddler?
I think that makes sense, but if that's true, then the Riddler was a punk. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, and I love this interpretation of the Riddler in the game because he's not an aggressive bad guy the way that the Joker or the Penguin or Two-Face are. He's just playing games.
Right.
And, so in that case, like, the guy in Dark Knight who makes a threat and figures things out, like that, to me, that kind of is fitting for the Riddler.
yeah, but he's a little punk in that movie.
Yeah, he is.
Like, there's nothing legitimately menacing about him.
Maybe,
Lucius Fox intimidates him. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
Lucius Fox doesn't intimidate the Riddler.
Well, why not? But that's what you never really. I hope this isn't too spoilery, but you never really find or see the Riddler in these games. He's just kind of lurking from a distance, and I think that's because he's basically, when it comes down to it, he's a coward. So now there's riddles in every room that you go in. There's going to be a riddle that you have to try to solve. Yeah, you don't have to. It's just bonus.
I like this music.
It's very soothing. Arkham elevator music.
We apologize for this interruption to our regular broadcast. Jack Ryder is live from the Gotham Bay Area with some
I think they
breaking
play
news.
like
This is Jack
I just
Ryder.
love
9 Inch Nails or something.
Yeah, the details.
We are getting
like,
reports of an
the
armed
buckets.
siege on
This is
Arkham Island.
such a
2
believable
minutes ago, Joker broadcast to all
scenery
news
for
channels
Arkham
this
Asylum.
chilling
Yeah,
message.
I mean, obviously the city needs funding.
This is the voice of your new master.
Oop, I guess I skipped that dialogue. What's this?
So now you're just looking for clues.
I don't know what I'm doing.
That's kind of a funny thing, that Batman can just rip off like screws that have been screwed into cement. Like you'd think he just in his little his utility belt would at least just have like a screwdriver.
No, I think he makes the screws.
And so he knows at what angle to pull on them. So
yeah, he designed air vents specifically so that he could travel through them.
he probably does. I mean,
Contracted them out.
Wayne Industries probably just like donates tons of money to the city for
Exactly.
repairs, so that
But
when he goes around messing up public property.
Right, but the real reason is that so he can infiltrate everywhere.
So speaking of the Riddler, have you ever read, by any chance, this? You know, I didn't give you a prep on this, so, but have you ever read the story Dark Knight, Dark City?
Yeah. A nice, expansive
Wait,
shot
what is this?
of.
This is outside.
That's Arkham Asylum.
Is that Wayne Tower?
Wayne Enterprises in the background, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is that Amadeus Arkham a statue? What kind of insane asylum has a statue of its founder?
This one. This insane asylum that is as insane as any of its inmates.
GameForBrains.